It's an honor to have you here, and I think we're going to have a great chat today. You are a cystic fibrosis survivor. You've had a double lung transplant.
I have.
15 years ago, right?
Yeah, well, it'll be 15 in May.
Right, so I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who can relate with your story. So yeah, really looking forward to talking to you today and then hear your side and everything you've been through.
Yeah.
So if you want to introduce yourself a little bit and just give a little bit of background for the listeners.
I'm Alethea. I'm 30 years old. I have cystic fibrosis, which I underwent a double lung transplant for 14 and a half years ago. Because I was at end stage of the progression of the disease. And yeah, there's been a lot that's happened in between then and now. I'm currently on dialysis because the medication I take for the transplant, the immunosuppression, has basically caused kidney failure. So I'm now looking for a kidney if anyone wants to donate.
There we go. And what blood type are you?
O positive.
Yeah, your mom told me.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, her mom was on the show with me. That episode came out as well. So also really interesting listen, by the way. But yeah, today's your story. And yeah, she told me you're a O. So you can give blood to everybody, but you can't receive from anybody.
I think that's so negative.
Yeah.
I'm O positive, so I don't know.
Positive, yeah?
Yeah, I still think that's like the most common blood type.
Okay.
But apparently that means I'll be waiting the longest on the list because there's so many people with O positive that needs a kidney who were like on the list before I was. So yeah.
Jeez. She also did explain to me, talk about the blood types and waiting for organs and stuff, and we'll get to all that as well. But apparently people can donate an organ even if they're not a match, because it's almost like give one, receive one kind of thing.
There's sort of like something called the domino effect. So if a family member of another family need, for instance, say my dad was going to donate a kidney but he's not a match for me.
Yeah.
If another family needed, say it was B positive, a kidney that was B positive, and one of their family members also had an O positive, they'd give to me and my dad would give to them. So it's like a three-way pool scheme.
Okay.
I think you can also do it with more people, but the medical staff sort of tend to say they don't really like doing that because if one person pulls out, there's multiple people affected instead of just one.
Okay, I understand that. And take us back to that first moment when you first found out you needed to get a double lung transplant.
I was quite young when it was mentioned. I think I was around 14 when the medical team first started sort of suggesting it to me. And I was quite in denial as a child. I didn't really think I didn't believe that I was as ill as they were saying I was. So my first reaction was, nope, not having that. That's insane. I don't want to go through that and I don't need it. So that quickly changed. I think about 6 months down the line, they sort of sat me down and said, the consequences of, your lifespan if you don't have this transplant, you're probably going to have less than a year to live. So I kind of felt not pushed into it, but I think everyone around me sort of explained that it was in my best interest to at least try. Yeah. Because they said it's not guaranteed to come. You might not get it, or something might happen during that time where you need to be taken off the list and then you don't have that option anymore. Yeah. So the more I thought about it, the less I thought about it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. And are you glad you went ahead with it now?
Absolutely.
Looking back?
Yeah. It was a tough recovery.
Yeah.
I think I was in intensive care for 8 weeks.
Wow.
It was a lot of backwards and forwards, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and then 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
But yeah, my life quality is completely different.
I can imagine. And what do you remember the most, of the days leading up to your transplant?
I remember I was already in hospital for treatment when my call came. I kind of, this is going to sound crazy, but I kind of had a feeling that I was going to get the call. Things kept happening, like I was getting these weird feelings and things that I wasn't used to, and me and my mum were talking about it. And the day that I got the call, my mum actually took my sister for a walk and kind of said, look, if your sister gets a call saying that we've got lungs, I'm going to have to leave, but I'll come back and I'll bring your sister back and she'll be well. She'll be better.
Yeah.
And yeah, the call came that night.
Wow.
And it was just a really strange coincidence how that happened. It was like we were preparing for it subconsciously.
Yeah. So 15 years is obviously an incredible milestone. And how has life been now since you've had it?
A lot of time I'm spending in hospital because of the dialysis, but also the dialysis has also given me a new lease of life.
Yeah.
Even though it's very time consuming and it takes a lot of time to do what it's supposed to do, it's definitely worth it. And life is completely different to pre-transplant. Like, I'm no longer in a wheelchair, I don't need oxygen,
Wow.
I don't need ventilation support when I'm asleep. I compared to what I used to, I rarely go into a hospital for like stays and,
Okay. And checkups.
Yeah, like antibiotic IVs and stuff. So
It's just the dialysis you're on now.
yeah.
And then when did you found out, when did the kidney issues start?
I say 3 years ago. 3 years ago I started dialysis, but I actually went into kidney failure straight after my transplant.
Yeah.
But they sort of managed to bring me out of it without any invasive treatment. I've had issues with my kidneys since the transplant, really. And then 11 years in, that's when my kidneys just really went off and started to fail quite rapidly.
And the dialysis, does it make a huge difference?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm a completely different person to when I first started.
And how long does the effects last of when you've been on the dialysis before you need to go back on? So how frequently do you have to do it?
So I go 3 times a week. I go Tuesday,
Wow.
Thursday and Saturday, and I'm on the machine for 4 hours.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite
Yeah, it's a long time.
a long time. And how long can you do? How long can you keep doing dialysis before kidney completely fails?
Yeah, so I know people who have been on it for like 20 years.
Okay.
But that's the only problems they have is the kidney side of things.
All right.
So for someone like me, I think they say they don't really want someone like me being on it for more than 5 years.
Okay.
Only because of the rest that comes with it. Like, you can get a lot of heart issues, and
Okay.
I'm not actually sure how long dialysis is effective for the average person.
Yeah.
They do say like you can live a relatively normal life on it. Did my mum mention I was doing it at home for a while?
Yes, she did say something like that.
Yeah, so I had a machine installed at my mum's house.
That's cool. So you don't have to go into the hospital every time.
Yeah, well, that was the case. I was doing it for about 1.5 years at my mum's house, but then I had a bit of like a funny turn on the machine, and it knocked my confidence because I'm the only person that could take myself off the machine because no one else was trained in the household.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, like, you're screwed, really.
Yeah.
So I go in centre now because
Very risky.
Yeah, exactly. It's just better to be safe.
So what does your typical week look for you now, on the dialysis and treatment and everything?
Yeah, if I'm not on dialysis, I go to Wythenshawe Hospital every couple of weeks for a checkup with my lungs, because they're the closest transplant centre. So I go to them. They sort of, I suppose, are in charge of like keeping on top of things. Like they provide my anti-rejection medication. They check my lung function, blood work. They just like to sort of keep on top of things and check
That's
things
good.
over. I'm actually there tomorrow having a camera test into my chest.
All right.
Yeah, it's called a bronchoscopy. They sort of like put a camera down and just have a look to see if everything's alright. That's fun.
Is it painful?
It's more uncomfortable than painful, but I always make sure that they give me sedation anyway, so I don't really remember what's happening.
Does it kind of get to you a bit, all these hospital visits and stuff? Do you get tired of it?
Sometimes. I see it as a sort of, like I'm a car and I'm going for an MOT, but I just need one quite frequently.
I guess so, yeah.
But I don't really think about it, because I think it's the only way I cope. You know,
Yeah.
I think as well, because I've been doing it for years, and I mean, like, since I was born, it's kind of normality to me, whereas I feel like when someone hasn't had all that experience with hospitals and then they need a transplant randomly, like, it's kind of harder for them because they've really got to adjust to the hospital environment.
Now, for someone with cystic fibrosis, when, like, at what age can you say, okay, this person's got CF, or is it different for everybody? Does it show up early in your life, or does it, and how, you know, how bad is the struggle when somebody has CF, or can it catch up with you later in life? How does that work?
Yeah, it's sort of so you have something of a, like, I think it's called a sweat test. So
Okay.
when you're born, they do a sweat test and they check to see if you have what is cystic fibrosis. If both of your parents are carriers, there's a 1 in 4 chance that you have cystic fibrosis.
Oh wow.
It's genetic, so you have it from birth. You're born with it. But sometimes people don't find out until they're like in their teens that they have it. And then it just progresses quite quickly and they get really unwell. Like, my cousin has it and he's nearly 40 now. But they didn't know he had CF until he was 19. And it was only because he had polyps in his nose that they found out that he had CF. Yeah, it can vary for everyone. And the strain can vary as well. So whilst I've got Delta F508, which is the most common strain of cystic fibrosis, some people can have other ones which don't really affect you as early as mine did. So it can affect you more later on in life when you're older.
And how do you stay mentally strong through all of this and all the hospital visits, and what keeps you going mentally sane?
That's a good question. I'm quite lucky to have the treatment available and the support of the people around me. I have a lot of support from...
That's awesome,
from my mum and my partner. They're both very supportive.
That's great. How long have you been with your partner?
8 years.
That's a long time,
Yeah, it is a long time.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of this with you.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
I'm sure he's faced challenges as well with you, and seeing how you sometimes struggle, you know, because obviously you've got good and bad days.
He doesn't really let a lot bother him, so I feel like...
That's good.
I'm quite emotionally reactive.
Yeah.
I get upset a lot. I'm quite vocal with how I feel.
Yeah.
But he's quite the opposite. He's quite stoic. Like, he shows a lot of stoicism. So I sort of have that rock, you know, like he's a rock. I suppose. Like,
I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, I completely agree. He definitely grounds me when I need it.
Yeah. So he's like a calm kind of guy.
Yeah, you're so chill.
Not throw fuel on the fire, make it worse.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. And were there moments that you thought, I can't keep doing this, and how did you push through that?
When I first started dialysis, I did have a few moments where I was having a wobble and I was like, I don't know if I want to continue doing this, because it was just so straining on the body, and I was having a lot of symptoms afterwards, and it was just it was all a bit much.
Yeah.
But once I started feeling better for having it, I think it pulled me out of that mindset where I was like, okay, you were just having a wobble, you're all right, like this, you can do this, you're all right.
Yeah, sometimes you're but in two minds to take a treatment, but it's actually for your own benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you see it's working and helping, it's like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how has your perspective changed on life since your dialysis and since the transplant and that?
I've definitely got a very sort of like do it now attitude. I don't have that, where people wait to do things. I'm very spontaneous. I just want to get it over and done with now. I want to live in the moment. I don't want to wait.
I think that's a great attitude, because tomorrow is never guaranteed anyway.
Yeah, that's it. And I think like being in the CF community, you see so much loss, and the way that the families deal with it gives you a bit of inspiration, I suppose, to just grab life by the horns, and you've just got to do what you want to do.
And how did that affect you mentally, having all these friends with the same condition and that, and you spend so much time together in hospitals and stuff, and then to see, to lose them, but so many.
Yeah.
How do you think that affected you emotionally?
It started when I was young, and you never get used to it. It doesn't matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
It never gets easier. Even when you're sort of expecting it, it still doesn't make it easy. It does give you a different outlook on life. Like I said, I'm a very do it now person. If I get an idea, it's got to be done. I don't wait. I don't like sitting by and staying in and just watching the world go by. Like, I want to be in that movement of the world. I don't want to be.
Yeah, I think that's stagnant. A great attitude.
Yeah.
You mentioned you get loads of support from your family, your mom, your boyfriend. And I wanted to ask you have you ever thought about having kids, or can you have kids? Or will it be maybe a bit dangerous?
When I had the transplant, I was sort of told, like, you probably shouldn't have kids because the strain of the pregnancy can set off, like, rejection. And not only that, the medication that you need can sort of, like, damage the baby as well. But I feel like I've never really been naturally maternal. Like, my family don't have a lot of kids in their family.
Yeah.
So I've never really been around kids. So I just don't have that natural flair of, like, it's not my lifelong dream to be a mother. I've never had that feeling.
Okay.
My partner's the same, really. We both kind of just like doing what we want when we want. So I feel like if you bring a kid into the mix, not only with my health situation, but with our lifestyle, it's probably not feasible, really.
Yeah. It's got a lot on your plate already.
Yeah.
And then to take care of another being.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Just add more to it, to the stress, I guess.
I have seen a few people who have had like transplants have kids, and they're getting on all right. But like I said, it's not really been a dream of mine.
Yeah.
I consider adopting at some point in my life.
Yeah. How has your faith or belief system evolved through everything that you've been through?
I don't necessarily believe in a God, or like, I'm not religious. But I'd like to believe that there's something after this life. I don't know, death is kind of scary. Like, I know people always say, oh, well, you shouldn't be scared of dying because it happens to everyone, but there's so much that you don't know about death, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's that feeling, what if there's nothing after death, and
exactly.
it's not even black, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I do believe in the afterlife, and you go to heaven. I don't believe heaven's in the clouds, but I think if you're a good person to other people, animals, it's almost like a test on earth. And at the end of the day, we're all energy, spirit. Like, I think it's just a vessel, you know.
No, I'm down with that. I like that analogy. I think I feel the same way. I think we're just energy in a, like you say, a vessel.
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
I know, that's it, isn't it?
Now, you've also faced the loss of your sister through suicide. Now, how did that affect you, you know, emotionally, mentally? How old were you as well?
It only happened a year ago. I was 29. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever been through. It was so... I don't even think I can find the words to explain what it did to me.
Did you expect it at some point?
There were moments in my sister's life where we knew she was capable of it. It wasn't her first time trying. She tried multiple times before. But everyone tries to convince you it's like a cry for help and it's not really going to happen. And I think a part of me believed that at the time.
Yeah.
Even though I knew in my heart that she was absolutely capable of, like, taking her own life. I think the only way I coped was to believe that it was a cry for help and not she wasn't going to go the whole way with it.
Yeah.
It changed me, and seeing what it did to my mum as well was a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, your mom's also been through a lot, you know, with your health and your sister's loss.
Yeah, she's always tried to keep both of us here in different ways, and yeah, it was hard for her. I think what was hard for her, she knew when she couldn't get hold of her.
Yeah. It must have brought you and your mom closer than ever together.
Yeah,
It
has now. At first, it sounds horrible, but I didn't want to kind of be around her because I didn't know how to act. I didn't know if I could say anything that would help. I didn't know if me being there was bringing up too much for her. Like, it was such a strange time in life. Like, it was strange because I feel like people always expect you to grieve a certain way, and when you don't grieve the way that they want you to, they think you don't care.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weird in that sense where if I'm around somebody or they cry, I don't feel a bit out of place, don't really know what to say or what to do, or...
Because I'm like,
you know?
I don't want to hug you because what if you just want that moment to cry? But then I feel like a dick for not hugging you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to hold you, to talk to you, to leave you alone. And I'm fine when I cry. I'm not arsed, like, you know, it's a release and I feel like it's good to do that. But yeah, I'm not good when other people cry.
Yeah. Do you think your own health battles helped you process that loss differently?
To some extent. And I also feel like now, like, the worst thing possible has happened. So when, like, I lose someone else, it's not the same. And I know that sounds really bad, but it's like I've already grieved that much that I don't think I've got that much grief left in me to grieve.
Yeah.
The worst possible thing in the world could happen to you. And literally, and it's not even just that, it's everything before that. It's been continuous for years. And not just my sister's death, it's just been, we've had so much death just from like being in the CF community and the transplant community.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of death. But that was just like the final straw. It was so, it's the feeling like, I think the word's insurmountable, where it's literally that great you can't overcome it. It's the only way I can describe it.
Do you still think about it every day?
Yeah, all the time. There's so much that reminds me of her. Mostly like songs. We shared a lot of interest in the same bands, and
were you and your sister very close?
yeah, we were. We sort of drifted a bit when she moved to uni, but I think that's only natural. I assumed she was out like making friends and just being a typical student, so I didn't want to cramp her style.
What do you wish people understood more about grief and tragedy after loss?
I think people should not just expect you to get over it. I feel like us Brits are so stuck in our ways where, you know, if someone asks you if you're okay, they don't want the real answer. They want you to say that you're okay.
Yeah.
They're asking out of politeness. They don't really want to know. I feel the same way with grief. It's like I talk about my sister a lot, and I feel like sometimes, this might not necessarily be true, but I do feel like people are kind of like, it's been a year now, like, come on, you know, you still hung up on it. I'm like, of course I am, it's my sister. I'm not just going to be, you don't get over something like that.
Yeah.
So I do feel like people should be a little bit more considerate around grief.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and until it happens to you, you know, I don't think people will really understand. And then what do you do to keep your sister's memory alive? I know your mom's built a fairy garden and looks amazing, really beautiful.
Yeah,
put a lot of effort into it.
She's really done such a good job.
I think it's also good for, you know, headspace.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be in the garden and all that.
Yeah, she's definitely got to be doing to, stay occupied, and it keeps her out of that state of grief, I feel. For me, I talk about her a lot. I don't want people to stop mentioning her, which I do feel like when I'm talking to people, I feel like they don't know whether to bring her name up or not, because they don't want to remind me.
Right.
But I never forget, so I'd rather you talk about it than avoid the subject.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a few years, I hope that we can set up a charity and bring more awareness to, well, not just suicide, but the failure among the system. And we need more mental health support, especially for younger adults and people with like autism and BPD, and you know, all those things that people like to say are just labels.
Yeah.
They definitely, I feel like they contribute to a lot of the mental health stigma, and I don't think there's enough support, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think they're fully equipped to, or properly trained to help these people, because your sister reached out twice.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
You know, to was it the psychologist?
Yeah, she did everything she could, right? She went to the doctor, she reached out to a psychologist, she rang the suicide hotline. I think there's also one called Good Samaritans that she rang. She tried to go to A&E to get them to admit her so she wouldn't go home and harm herself. She really tried to advocate for herself, but because she didn't look depressed, she was sent away.
That is shocking.
I know, it's awful.
That is actually shocking.
If you're really that desperate, enough to go to a hospital and suggest you get sectioned, I don't think someone's joking about suicide.
No, and it shouldn't ever be taken lightly.
I agree.
You know, especially if somebody reaches out and say, look, I'm on, and she actually had poison on her,
Yeah, she
right,
did,
which she
yeah.
purchased off the dark web,
Yeah.
and told them, you know, I've got, and they let her go away
Yep.
with the poison in her possession.
Yep.
Now, how the hell is someone like that, you know, in a position to, you know, help people
I know. It's truly...
who wants to commit suicide?
It's disgusting, really. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I've had psychiatric help, whenever I enter that room, they've said, okay, before we start, I need to let you know that if we think you're going to harm someone or harm yourself, then confidentiality goes out the window and we have to inform
Right.
someone. So I don't understand why that didn't happen.
Yeah.
If someone tells you they've got a poison and they've got to do A, B and C for it to kill them in a matter of minutes, you don't just say, oh, can you give it to someone?
That is so irresponsible and shows a lack of care, you know.
Yeah.
People like that shouldn't be, and I think there should be more, something more should be done about it, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Where these people can be taken more seriously, and people who don't belong there, they should leave. You're not just there for a paycheck, this is people's lives.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't just mess around with people's livelihoods like that.
No, that is shocking to me.
And it happens a lot as well. I've read so many blogs about people having the same experience. It's just so sad.
And the fact that people can purchase these things online, delivered to their door.
Yeah.
And I mean, the people selling it, that is sick. Because you are literally aiding in somebody's death.
It's kind of like assisted suicide in a way.
Yeah.
And you should be charged.
Yeah, you should be charged with murder, really.
Yep.
Because if somebody is not mentally in a good place, and then you kind of encourage them to harm themselves, then you are just as guilty.
I agree.
You know. But this is the thing, you know, it's almost like tears come too late because of a system, you know, that fails the people, that's not taken seriously. So something needs to change.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even the support afterwards is
it's been
non-existent.
Honestly, they won't even
Pathetic.
take accountability for their failures, and we're still waiting for the inquest. Like, we haven't had my mum mostly hasn't had the support that she deserves during this time, and the mental health services are just so bad.
So I want to talk about the organ donation. What do people need to know about, you know, transplants, you know, coming from somebody who's lived it firsthand?
It's an opt-out system now, so I don't know if when you die, they automatically sort of ask the family, is there any reason you don't want to donate? Instead of being like, now you don't have to sign the register, it's like automatic. But you should still discuss it with your families, because your family can still have like the ultimate decision, like they can make that decision to say, actually we don't want their organs to be transplanted.
Okay.
So I feel like it's really important to like discuss with your family if you do.
Would you encourage
to
people to donate their organs?
I think so, yeah. I feel like it's a big gift, and I don't mean just like a little gift, it's a gift of life.
Yeah.
It can really transform someone's life.
And would you ever know the family of the person, you know, the lost one, who donated their organs, whether it's lungs or kidneys?
I think it depends. I think it depends on your age. I was under 16, so they encouraged me to not know.
Okay.
Secondly, I do think you can find out if you really wanted to. Like, you could ask your transplant care team to give you that information. Because I know, like, you can write letters to your donor's family, you know, to sort of express your gratitude.
I think that's really nice, actually.
Yeah, no, it is. It's lovely to do that.
You know, and to see, say a woman's, you know, lost a son or whatever, and, you know, you carry that person's kidney or something, and it's almost like, you know, a son lives on in a sense through somebody else.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite touching, you know.
Yeah, it is.
What misconceptions do people have about life after transplant?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I think people just assume that you're not going to have a good quality of life.
Yeah.
And that is just so not true. Like, I've accomplished so much since my transplant. And granted, yeah, there are moments where I'm like, this sucks, and, you know, it makes you, well, it makes you a bit miserable sometimes. But that's literally like 5% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's given me the ability to do so much. And I think people just assume that your life is just going to be about hospital now.
Right.
I mean, it is a big portion of it, but it doesn't consume your whole life. It's not just hospitals. There's so much you can achieve. And you can live a relatively normal life a lot of the time.
Can you live a long, healthy life, or is there, you know, do they tell you you're kind of limited to how long you can live with a transplant?
So I know lungs are quite difficult. Only 50% of the people live 5 years and over.
Wow.
They said to me I'd get around 7 years out of them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And can you have more than one transplant?
You can, yeah, if you fit the criteria. And I mean, the criteria is very precise. There's quite a small margin that you have to fit. But if you can fit that margin, yeah, you can have another transplant if the first one fails.
Wow.
Depending on how well your first one's done.
Yeah. So, I mean, 15 years you've got yours now, pretty much. And how many people do you know in the world that's had their lungs for so long?
I've only heard of 3 other people that have had their lungs for as long as I have.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that just because you're such a good match with it?
Yeah, I think they said I was around 98% of a match.
That's amazing. Have they had any other predictions how long these might last you? And are you on a waiting list still for new lungs if it should come to it?
So these lungs are doing okay at the minute, touch wood. They said, well, from what they've seen, like, my lungs are in quite good condition. It's sort of like the other parts of my body that are struggling, like my kidneys and my stomach. They're having a bit of a hard time. But funnily enough, my mum actually asked this question last time we were there. She said, if I were to get a kidney and just saying my lungs went into rejection, would I be able to be considered for another transplant? And I'm not sure why she asked that, because she did not discuss that with me first.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm not sure if I'd go through it again. I mean, a kidney's slightly different. It's not as severe as having a lung or a heart.
Yeah.
And my recovery was quite tough, so I don't know. I mean, I can't say that because if it comes to it, I might change my mind. I don't know. Because you do anything to survive, don't you, really?
Yeah.
That's just natural instinct. I was on the list for a kidney, but I was suspended back in March because I kept getting a reoccurring chest infection. And they said I need to be 3 months free before they'll relist me. It's been like 4 months now, and I'm still trying to get relisted. So.
And that's for the kidney.
Yeah.
And I was being open about your story, help heal others.
I hope that someone will see my story and know that it's possible to overcome these obstacles. Like, it's not just what the doctors tell you sometimes. They're not always right. And I feel like you really can achieve what you set out to achieve. Even if you've been through hell and back, as long as you don't let it, it won't stop you.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to not just take everything at face value that doctors say. Mm-hmm. Because you hear so many stories where doctors have told people you're only going to live this long, and then they,
Absolutely.
completely blow it out of water and live much longer.
And surpass all expectations. Yeah, sometimes you've got to show the doctors that they're wrong sometimes.
Yeah. And what's something you wish the healthcare system would do better for somebody like you, in your position?
The biggest issue I have when it comes to hospitals is the A&E waiting times is a little bit extreme. Especially when you're immunosuppressed and you shouldn't really be around that much illness. Yep. I do feel like they can sometimes put you a bit at jeopardy by putting you in certain areas with other people who might have COVID or pneumonia or a chest infection.
And the problem is, even if you have private medical aid, you still have to first go to the, A&E, and then it's a whole lot of paperwork. You can't just go straight into the private hospital,
Yeah.
There's a whole protocol before you can even get there.
I wish they'd trust my judgment a bit sometimes as well.
Yeah.
They kind of... I think they often think, well, you're a patient, so you don't know anything. But what they don't realise is I've actually been doing this a long time, and
you know your body and how you feel.
That's exactly my point. If you know your body, a lot of the time, you're probably going to be right about certain things.
Is that like when you wanted to go to the concert, they didn't want to let you go, and
and I knew I'd be yourself. Okay, yeah. But at the same time, they're just
looking out for you.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts. It's hard work.
And then what gives you hope right now as you're waiting for a kidney transplant?
I know I've got more to do, and I know there's more for me to see, and I know that this just can't be it. And I just have that feeling that it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do have that. I just have that inkling that I'm going to be all right.
Yeah. That's nice.
I want to do so much traveling as well. That's probably the thing that's keeping me going most, is knowing that I'll be able to go abroad again at some point and see my family in Cyprus. And
so when you picture the future and you're healthy and you're free from dialysis, what do you dream of doing?
I'd like to get back into music. I used to gig a lot, and I don't really do that anymore.
Is that obviously because you don't want to be exposed to all sorts of germs maybe, or?
Partially. And I feel like I'm quite tired a lot of the time. Dialysis sort of takes it out of you. So don't really have the energy. Like, I think the most strenuous thing I do at the minute is probably I go to gigs. I don't do gigs, but I go to them.
So you used to play as well, instrument?
Yeah.
Oh, you do play. What do you play?
Guitar.
Nice. Usually rhythm or lead?
Sort of just like acoustics. I sing as well.
Okay, you sing as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like
That's nice.
sort of my passion for a while. So I'd like to get back to doing that. But yeah, there's a lot of places I want to go to, like travelling different countries. I love the sun. I thrive in the sun for the most part.
And you love South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, we do get cold months as well, but yeah, when it's hot as hell.
When you go back next week, will it be hot or?
Yes, it'll be bloody hot because this is now summer months.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was summer or.
Yeah, it's total opposite from UK, you know. It's winter here, it's summer there. The final thing I just want to ask you, is there anything that you want to, you know, tell anybody else that might be going through what you are going through, or somebody that's waiting for an organ, whether it be a lung or kidney, you know, or somebody that might be going in for a double lung transplant? Is there any hope you want to give them, or word of advice, or something, you know, they can expect that you've been through with your experience?
Your biggest friend is finding a community with people who have been through it. Because when I had my lungs, I didn't know anyone who'd had a transplant, and there was no one to ask real questions to and get answers from people with experience. You could ask the doctors, but they just go off statistics, and that's not always like giving you hope. Sometimes the statistics are a little bit all over the place and make you feel a bit like, oh, is it actually like worth me doing this? So I definitely suggest like finding someone that you can talk to about it in real time and find out what it was like from their experience. Ask questions, or ask them to give you questions to ask your medical team, because I think when you're put on the spot, you don't know what questions to ask, because it's so overwhelming just coming to terms with the fact that you might need an organ transplant. Sometimes you can't think of the questions on the spot. Yeah, I feel like that's a big help. And also, don't always believe what the doctors say. They're not always right.
And you'd say it's worth it getting it done if it's offered to you?
Yeah, absolutely. My whole quality of life has completely changed.
That's amazing. So there is definitely hope after. It's not the end of it.
No, absolutely not, no.
You can still be strong, be healthy, come back from it, you know, bounce back.
Yep, you can regain a lot of the life that you lost.
That's amazing. And can people get hold of you if, you know, if they want to reach out and maybe ask you something, or somebody who might be going through the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down for answering questions.
Great. And then where is the best place to get hold of you? Instagram?
Instagram or Facebook is probably the best shout. I have got TikTok as well, but...
Great. So what's your names on there?
So on Instagram it's leafmex_alone_. And Facebook it's Alethea Petrides. And I think TikTok's just Leaf Petrides.
That's cool. We'll put the links and the names, we'll put it in the description below anyway. So if people want to reach out, or they want to know more, or maybe somebody even wants to donate, who knows, they can get in touch.
Yes, and, sounds good.
Yeah. And Alethea, it's been so great to have you on the show. You're a huge inspiration with everything you've been through, and you know, I've learned a lot through this, and you inspired me as well. And to know there's so much to live for and be thankful for. So
absolutely. Thank you
for having me. I just wish you all the best.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
I love you. You love me.